Hi everyone, this is part 2 of the retrospective on the Sill Valley 6 pairs in 7 AV presses. So if you haven't seen the first part, make sure you go watch that, or this might not make as much sense. It doesn't really matter, but you should go watch the first part first. Anyway, so where we left off, we talked about the discovery of the way of getting up here without pressing any buttons whatsoever. The joystick, you do press the joystick without pressing the A or B button. So you gotta get up here, then the B hits you onto here, and then the B can hit you off onto the platform. Or alternatively, you can just run off of this, except it's much more difficult. So then once you're up here, it is possible to kill every enemy without the A or B button. I won't go into that, it's pretty simple. Then we discussed how you can get Johns. What you do is you just go over here. You use the jump pad to make it down to that platform where Alex is. Then once you get the key, you go down. Of course, you use the jump pad again. Then after using the jump pad, you make your way up the rope, and then you perform the trick again with the B and the wall. Get hit off by the B, and then make your way over here. So the key thing about John is you have to keep the bee alive for the first time around. You have to get hit off by the bee so that you can use the bee on the second time around to make it back onto this mountain. Then you just come over here and save John. For Vladimir, you can do a very similar strategy, except you only need to come up once, come down this way. You just go to the mountaintop once, come down this way, go over here. You can make your way. Usually I like to use the jump pad to make my way along the fence, so I don't have to deal with the penguin because it looks cooler. You just make your way over. There we go. You don't get hit by the thingamajiggies, so you're still at 3 health. And then there you go. You want to try to get knocked forward by it, and then you save Vladimir. There you go. I wasn't able to do that in the first video, but that's how you do that. You have to save Vladimir by taking strategic damage to actually boost you forward some. Anyway, those are the easy ones. John is just hard because you have to do it twice, which actually makes John... Actually, I wouldn't even say it's the hardest. You do have to do the whole strategy twice, which makes John unique. Hard in its own way, I would say, which is pretty unique how you have to do the strategy twice in order to save John. And for Vladimir, he's the simplest. You just have to do it once and then make your way all the way over there. Anyway, on to other bears. So, I said 6 bears. So Skia, Flake and Rodolph are basically the same thing. So we'll do Rodolph right now and Flake. So the first obvious thing is that this path would be very nice to be able to take to get up here. However, unfortunately, there is no way to ascend that path without using the A or B button. So, with that being said, you have to use an alternative method, because that requires jumps. Like right here, this is at least 1 jump, probably 2. This is also 2 jumps. It's 2 and then 2 more. Yeah, it's 4 jumps. Alternatively, you could do this, which is 1, 2. In fact, you don't even need to do that. I just realized that you could do this and that. So once you're here on this ice block using the B in 0 A-B presses, you have the opportunity to do 1, 2, 3, and you're up. And oh, hi. You got stuck. Anyway, so that's 3. But however, honestly, there might be a better way to do this. Like if I did 1, 2, that would get me ledge grab, but that wouldn't do as much. In fact, what if I walked off the edge to do, you know, like a wall? So I'm again, we've already solved this, but I'm just trying to look at alternative strategies because you never know when you're going to be an alternative strategy. How did that? Getting the speed there the correct way is so difficult. There we go. Would this work? Yeah, that would work. So what if I did this? Boom, boom, boom. Okay, here, I'm gonna make it a bit easier on me. So again, you can get to the ice block in 0 A presses. Make your way up, hold B, ground pound. Oh, but you can't climb the wall anymore because you just used the wall. That is unfortunate. That is very unfortunate. Alternatively, you could jump, ground pound, then you're up. So that's 2. There we go. So you could do it in 2 A-B presses. And just like last video, that's probably going to be the new strategy for, actually I don't think it will be, for the real time. So the real time A-B challenge, if that was unclear last video, that's when a human does it by hand, right? So I'm going to go do this by hand and try to get like a fast speed run time. Obviously, if I were to do this by hand, I would not at all even try to attempt this strategy with the B. Like, just not happening. It would be more in my best interest to try. I don't even know if I want to do that. Something like that. But again, it would be in my best interest. I could get up here one B press, which is using the other strategy where you go down there and using the jump pad. So that would be in my best interest. I would get on the mountain in 1 B press, call it a day. For Flake specifically, I would probably use the jump pad and the rope to do this. See, that's 2 presses. See, that gets me the key. Oh, there we go. I just did something weird. I just did something weird. And this would get me to Rodolph in 2 presses. That would be the best strategy, because now I don't have to get here and do this for 2 presses. Because that clearing this gap is just so unbelievably difficult. I can just do this, there. The only concern I would have... Oh no, it's easy. Because the thing is, if I press A and let's say I mess up, I just wasted 2 A-B presses, which is really, really bad. Anyway, all that talk aside, you can see it takes about 2 A-B presses to get up to this ledge. But, you know, I'm J-Runner E. I'm insane. I want to do it in 0. So let's go figure out how to do that. So immediately, the first thing you're going to notice when you're trying to solve this is this jump pad, which you can grab this ledge, which is pretty good. By itself, it looks pretty good. Haha, I got stuck again. Okay. He won't bother us for a bit, hopefully. So that looks pretty good. Like, it looks pretty promising. And if you get the right angle, are we still in? No, we're normal speed. If you get the right angle, yeah, you can land. So that looks very promising. Now you need. Wondering if I could do this without. Jumping. There we go. So it takes 1A press. That's pretty good. 1A press. It's kind of precise, but it only takes 1A press. So that's pretty good. But can we do it in 0? Is there any way we can extend this jump pad's bounce all the way up to there? It's seemingly no. I mean, you can do it with a dive, and then use the wall to get yourself up, right? Because that's something that is important in the A-B challenge, and also the A-button challenge is when you dive. If you dive and then you stall, like, you can't do anything. Because you can't press the B button. In the A-B challenge, you definitely can't press the B button. So you have to press the A button to get up. So you want to make sure whenever you're diving that there's a way that you can stall, bonk there into something. Very easy there. Once you're up here, you can simply walk over and grab the Flake key, drop down, and say Flake. Or go over to Rodolph. Now the problem, that takes 1A press, right? That requires this precise walk up. You land here in 0 button presses. Remember, we're still at 0 button presses. Then you make this precise jump. That's 1 button press, which is that A press we just did. Because remember, we used the insanely difficult strat with the beads, make it onto that ice block, and then get over here to the mountain without pressing the A or B button once. So, now what? Is there anything better that we can do? Well, yes. So, this guy. So, this guy will lunge at you. Now, there have been attempts at enemy manipulation. The most successful ones are with bees, obviously. If you've seen the video on my channel, the Alexander and 0B presses. It was one of the last remaining bears that required more than 1B press, because all bears require a B press to open the cage, to hit the cage open. Alexander was one of the last ones that required an additional B press to make it there. Now, I saved it. There's still more that haven't been saved because they're just that hard. And Alexander was one of those that looked like was also going to be amongst the bears that could never be saved. So I saved Alexander way back in about June last year, July last year, I don't remember. And the way I did that was with the first ever large-scale successful enemy manipulation. It was with a bee. I drew a bee all the way across the map. Okay, not all the way. Like a large portion of the map. Then I had to manipulate the bee so I could get it into a good position so that I could go somewhere else. And then re-grab the bee's attention. Then I had to manipulate it to lunge at me so that I could get good positioning to jump and then bounce on the bee's head to get the key. So you should go watch Alexander in 0B presses. It was the first ever large-scale bee manipulation. The second large-scale bee manipulation ever, I believe, I might be wrong, but I believe it was right here. Getting up this area without pressing any buttons. So you have to first manipulate the bee to hit you onto the ice block. And then you have to manipulate the bee to punch you off the ice block and onto the platform. And that's a bee in it. It's not the most crazy intense one. It's just a bit difficult. It's not as crazy as Alexander 0B, but it is honestly more precise than Alexander 0. Why did I do that? Hold, please. This is more precise than Alexander 0B, because Alexander 0B, it was a bit precise at the end, which is what a lot of attempts die to, but this, like, you need to be spot on to get it to work. Then the third ever large-scale bee manipulation is for Flake and Rudolph. Now this one is what we call large-scale bee manipulation. So we have the bee. What does a bee do? A bee is going to, when it sees you, it's going to lunge at you. But not exactly. When it sees you, it's going to look at you. If you're close enough, it'll look at you and start following you. So you have the ability to get it to follow you some. And it'll follow you as far as you want it to. So watch this. So you want to get it to follow you. You want to keep your distance. You don't want to walk too fast or else it'll be too far and it'll turn around. So high. So you can get it to follow you. And then once it gets close enough, you can get it to lunge. The lunge will keep it flying for 3 seconds. And then once 3 seconds goes by and it hasn't hit you, or if it has, I don't know. I just don't get hit by it, so I'm not even sure. Try not to get hit by the bee. Once it finishes its lunge, it will turn around in the best direction possible to loop back to its base and slowly make its way over there. So that is sort of how the bees work. So what I realized is that what we could do is we could get the bee to lunge off in that direction. So it'll come back in a more favorable direction. So I could use the jump pad to get it to lunge at me while I'm in the air. See that? See that right there? I got it to lunge at me in the air without pressing any buttons. And that is what I utilized. So I wanted to get it to lunge at me, then I would bounce off the bee and land onto the platform up there. That is the plan. So, but it's kind of difficult to do, especially with the bee coming around. There we go, we got it. Something like that. That's what I was aiming for. I can't believe I just did that, but that's what I was aiming for. Now, if you actually watch the video, so basically I spent about half an hour trying to do that with no success. But the thing is, I kept going because I just really wanted 0 A-B presses. And on one of my lucky attempts, the bee was coming back, and the bee ran into me, did a damage knockback to Baron in the air, flinging him to here, and I was safe. No button presses. While I was flying through the air, I damage knockback off the bee onto this platform. So again, you can go watch the video. It should be linked below in the description. That was not planned at all. That wasn't me being smart and being like, oh, I need to get a damage knockback from the bee. There was no way that I ever could have reliably tested that. I would have been like, even if that is possible, there's no way I could test that. I just happened to get a perfect damage knockback from the bee to damage knockback onto this platform, which was insane. And so then once you do that, all you have to do is walk over here, fall off, save Flake, and then restart the level, do the insanely hard strategy where you do the blah 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 blah, get on the ice block, bee sends you off, or whatever other strategy you do, then do the whole crazy hard thing again, do the bee damage knockback, which I don't know if ever is going to be done in the rest of the history of SBA, because it's so dang hard. Do that same thing again, then use this jump pad, and you have to make sure you push forward when you use it, or you won't make it all the way. There you go. Again, we're still at 0 button presses, and conveniently there's a jump pad right here to get the key, and you save Rudolph. And that is how you save Flake and Rudolph. Again, you have to do it 2 separate times. You have to come all the way up 2 separate times. You have to do the crazy bee strategy to get up onto the tallest clip 2 separate times. And that's how you save Flake and Rudolph. And again, John, you just come up the whole map twice. Once to go back down and get the key, and once to go down and get John. And then for Vladimir, you just come up the map twice to go all the way around to get Vladimir. Alternatively, if you don't want to go up the map twice, what you could do is you could finish Rudolph, then just drop down over here and get Vladimir. There we go. Let's go. We did it twice. I think we might have just gotten hit none there. I have no damage on, but yeah. But I do want to look at something, because I just realized, if you make this ultra precise landing here, see, it's possible. I just did it earlier. Wow, that is ultra precise. Holy. I don't know if I want to do this again. That is ultra precise. Wow, that is really, 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 really precise. You have to hit this jump pad the last possible moment to get the most possible distance out of it. How did I do that so easily earlier? There we go. If you do that, that's 0. That's 0 presses. And then what if you did this? That's also 0. There you go. We just discovered another strategy that doesn't use the B. This is still stupidly hard. But that doesn't use the B. Like, I'm not kidding, y'all. I just did it again. Wow. Y'all live just witnessed this in 0 B press. A new strategy made. I spent all that time and really, I literally could have just done this. Like, why didn't I do that? Oh, but see, it's kind of finicky, actually. I figured that would happen. You would ledge grab. We don't want to ledge grab, because if you ledge grab, it's game over. Boom. Yeah, that's what you want to do. I think you're good. So it's kind of finicky. It's technically possible. It's a new possible strat. I still wouldn't use it in real time. I would just take the two presses and call it a day. Because what is an option is for real-time runners to come up here with 1 B press. 1 B press. Do this insanely difficult strategy, which is not nearly as difficult as the B, and then happen to get the right one here. Oh, if they fall off, it's game over. You just wasted a B press. Keep in mind, if you mess this up at any point, you can use a B press. Do this, and then save Flake with only 1 B press instead too. I don't know if that's a good option, because you've already done Turtle Town, and so if you mess up, it's not like you could easily re-begin your run, because you're so far in. Anyway. There you go, everyone. You just witnessed a new strategy being invented. That is technically another way to do it in 0 button presses. You do the normal crazy strategy as normal. Get over here, go to the mountain, go over here, and then do the crazy difficult, bounce pad thingy. And then you just need to do this. That. And that's technically another way to do it in 0 B presses, A B presses, which is good because you never know when a strategy is going to become obsolete. For real-time runners, you could alternatively just do this. Use 1 B press to get up here, and then another B press to just dive into the wall. Pick your poison. So next is Alex's Skia. So we're not going to talk about the coin bear. The coin bear is probably possible. It hasn't been verified yet. But the fact that you can get all the way up to the top of the mountain as many times as you want basically guarantees that it's possible. Also, it's possible to get up here in 0 A presses, AB presses, and get these coins. So, like, what isn't possible to get? But yeah. Then after that, so the coin bear is like very, very likely possible. We just haven't looked at it yet. The boss bear is a completely different, separate thing. It has nothing to do with height. It has to do with the boss, being stuck in the boss room. So it's not part of this sort of endeavor. So that just leaves us with Skia and Alex. So the thing with Alex is you can make it down to here, which makes it seem like everything's good. The problem that immediately arises is getting on this seemingly impossible, except there is a convenient ramp right here, which you can just walk up and onto the puzzle. You can then solve the puzzle as normal. Then grab the key. Yep, I think you noticed the problem. So, you can't grab the key. Even if you try to use this for height, you can't get the key. Now it is an option to dive from this, get the key, then make your way over and save Alex. And that takes 2 B presses. Now keep in mind, every bear requires 1 B press to open the cage. So every bear is by default 1 A B press, right? What we're trying to do is we're trying to make every other B press down to 0, okay? So we're trying to get to the bear's cage and open it with 1 B press. That's it. That's the only press. So when we got John, we did it in 1 A B press because it's the B press to open the cage. We managed to get John's key and get to John without pressing any A B the entire time. And then when we open the cage, it's 1 B press. Same with Rudolph. We did not press a single A or B the entire time until we pressed the B button to open his cage. It's just like the B button challenge where you're going to need a B press to open the cage. Those have not been discovered how to be saved yet. It's probably going to require some sort of glitch that may or may not even exist. So, we're here. We just spawned the key. We have not pressed the A or B button once because we used the strategy to get on the mountain without pressing the A or B button. So now what do? If we go on this side and dive into the key, that will be 1 B press. And then we would have to come over here and open the cage with another B press. That's 2. We want to do it in 1. The 1 to open the cage, that's required. So how can we do that? How can we get this key without pressing the B button? It's seemingly impossible. You can't get it from here. And even if you manage to get on a tree or something, like let's say, like you got on this tree, you would still need to dive into the key. Diving into the key, obviously, is still going to cause it. You have to take a B press. You got the key. And then you have to get another B press to, oh my gosh, to open the cage. So what the world could you do? There's no platforms close enough to the key to walk onto the key. Let alone how would you even get on the trees in the first place? There's nothing you can do. You just can't do both. And so the thing that I think I probably did back then was I went up to the top and said, okay, maybe I can use the jump pad to, let me do this. Okay, I was probably what I did was I said maybe I could use the jump pad to get the key. Nope. So, what do? So what I then decided was, okay, what if I could use the jump pad to like get on a tree or something, right? And that's possible. What's not possible is getting on the other tree, though. Getting on the other tree, even if you try your best, like, it's just not even coming anywhere close to working. You need an A press. And why would you press A when you could just go over here, use the side, press B to dive and get the key? Like, A and B presses are the same. If you're going to use 2, you may as well do the easy strategy instead of making your way all the way back up to the top of the mountain to go on a tree in 1 A press when you could just dive for the key in 1 A press. And also, that still doesn't fix the problem because you can't go from the tree to the key in 0 button presses. So, that's when I had an idea. This has been an idea that has been in my mind for a very long time, and it's sort of just cool rather than actually useful. Until it became actually useful. So the idea is this. If we need a dive to get this key, that's a B press. That's a B press, right? You need a dive. Dives can open cages as well. What if we could use the same dive to get the key as open the cage? I screwed that up because of the camera. But what if you could use the same dive to get the key? I hate this camera so much. What if you could use what if you could use the same dive to get the key as open the cage? That's the plan. So I tried it from here, I tried like diving and then turning Baron, but there's just no way that's gonna come anywhere close to working. But you know where it could work from? That tree. But the problem is getting onto the tree. Getting onto the tree would probably be the easier part, so I'm pretty sure I tested the tree first, right? If I know that it works from the tree, then all I have to do is get to the tree. So that's what I decided to do. And so I began doing this. What you want to do is I'll do it in slow motion even, because it'll be easier. You want to take a turn, go off, dive, get the key, then use the sign to sort of slide Baron into the cage. And you can watch the video linked in the description. After quite a long time of attempts, ow, I do manage to indeed pull it off, and I'm able to make that insane trick jump right there, where I get the key there, and I would turn enough to get the cage, all with the same B press. So instead of like not using the B button to get the key, what I did was I said, oh, well, we're gonna have to press the B button anyway to open the cage, so I may as well use the B button press that I'm using to open the cage to also get the key, turning 2 B presses into 1 B press that I had to press anyway. So, with that being said, that saves a B press, if it's possible to get on that tree, which, as we've seen, is not possible. And so what I do is I simply just use the B. You remember this guy? See, he can fly down there, then I can bounce on his head for that extra bounce. So a little bit more of a B manipulation. You want to make him lunge downwards. Like that? No, that's Joe. You want to make him lunge more in that direction because he's going to turn back this way. You also don't want to get hit by the B, because keep in mind when you don't have cheats on, you do take damage. It's much more difficult than I remember, goodness. In fact, I kind of want to do it. Let me see if I can pull this off. There we go. He's going that way. I'm going like this. Okay, I need to land on the B. I missed because I'm great at this game. Trust me. Chat, I'm great at this game. Where's the B? Oh, there he is. Let's try again. Okay. Last time I waited. This time I'm gonna wait like that much time and then go for it. That was already too much. So I think I'm just gonna not wait. Anyway, so after another like 20 minutes of this, back on that day that I discovered it. There we go. Ugh, got it. And there you have it. It's possible to get on the tree. Which means, since we already proved it's possible to get from the tree to the cage and grab the key along the way without pressing any buttons, we just proved that it's possible to do the whole thing in 0 button presses. I'll walk you through it one more time. So basically you start the level, you come over here, you use the jump pad to bounce your way up onto this rope. You go up the rope. You use the B over here. Oh my. You use the B. You use a glitchy wall ledge grab thingy. And you use the B to knock you off of the wall ledge grab thingy onto the ice. And then you can use or you can bounce on the B because you only need to come up once. So it's fine if you kill the B. Because then you can either use the B to knock you onto the mountain, or you can run onto the mountain yourself. Either way, you can get onto the mountain without pressing any buttons once. Once you're here, feel free to kill the enemies because it'll make it easier. After that, oh, my bad. My bad, everyone. My bad. You actually have to use the B knockback here. This is like John. You do have to come up twice. So you have to use the B knockback here to keep the B alive. Then you can either have the B knock you onto the mountain, or you can go onto the mountain. Then you make your way over here. Come down here. solve the puzzle. After you solve the puzzle, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to drop down, go over here, use the jump pad, leave, use the rope, go up the rope, go back up here, do that whole thing over. And then you're going to want to do the wall thing again. This time, you can have the bee knock you off, or you can bounce on the bee, whatever you want, because you're not coming back up. I forgot, you do actually have to come back up for Alex. And then you have to go over here, again, without pressing all this, without pressing any buttons. Then you have to bee manip the bee to lunge down. Then you use the bee, bounce on the bee, land on the tree, and then grab the key and open the cage with the same dive. Which, believe me, I definitely just did. Trust. And you can free Alex. Again, not necessary with only pressing the B button one time, which is the required cage press. So there you go. That's how you save Alex. And that's pretty much the whole thing. Skia is pretty much the same. You're up here. And all you have to do is use that strategy. Then you have to drop down, grab the key, pull yourself up, because then you fly off the wall, land in here, and then you have to deal with this. So all you really want to do, if you have 3 HP, you don't have to really worry. You can take damage, and you just have to, you can take a couple damage, it's fine. I'm pretty sure you can even do it without taking any damage if you time it right. So like this, like that, or something like that. You just jump, dive. Okay, and so that's one, and that's where it stands today. You do need one button press, one extra button press. You need the button press to open the cage, but you also need an extra one to jump out of this pit, and that one has not been saved. That's the only one out of these 6 bears, the 6 regular bears, where you actually need to press a button, not to open the cage. So it's 6 bears in 7 A-B presses. 6 of those A-B presses are the required ones to open the cage. It's pretty simple, but some ways to solve it have been discussed. Whoops. So what that's going to look like is basically pushing these moose off of the ledge right here. Because see how it's walking towards me? See how it's walking towards me? What's going to happen is when I push the moose off the ledge, it's going to walk towards me and get itself stuck in the cave. So you would do this obviously without mods. There, you hit it off by taking damage, and it's going to end up in the cave if you did it right, which obviously I didn't. So you just lure it, and then you can do a quick turn. Again, I don't even know if I have footage on this. There's footage on the Discord, there should be. And then you get the moose to, there it is, see it's gone. That's because it's in here. Then you can do this to get in there without taking damage or touching the moose, you know, if you're actually good at the game, like I was at some point. No, but seriously. And this is, so that's the strategy. See, that's good. He's really close to the edge, so you can go over here. Not that. Don't do what I just did. Whatever I just did was not good. Oh gosh, this is so hard backwards. That never happened to me back then. So annoying. But I'm just going to grab him. Okay. You come to me. See, back then we didn't have mods, so if I ever messed up, I had to start all over. So this is super useful. So basically, the idea is to somehow get the moose in here, which you can do, and then without yourself unaliving, which is possible because you can use the hearts to fill up your health without it respawning. You take the moose in here, you can actually get 2 moose in here, and then you use the moose in here somehow to, I don't know, make it across the gap. That part hasn't been figured out. There isn't any known way to do that, sadly. So for now, there's no way to do that. And yeah, that's where the Skia stands. That's where Snow Valley stands. These moose we can bring in here, super useful. The moose does die to this rolling thing. So even if you drop the moose in there to use the platform, it will end up dying. The strategy sort of idea is to use one moose that would be in front of me to knock me over the gap and bounce on another moose that's already in the gap off of that moose, and then I would clear the rest of the distance using a dive, and that dive would also be the same dive that opens the cage. So that's sort of an idea, but it's just not possible because that spiky thing keeps killing the moose. Maybe in the future we find a way to glitch the spiky thing into non-existing, because that would allow us to get those moose positioned in the right place and possibly actually save the final press here. Yeah, not much I can tell you. There's just no way for me to save this A press. Because here you're already too low also. So there's just like no way. So that's where we are. I have no idea what we can do. Maybe something with this moose. It's really nice to have an object in the cave, especially a moving object and a bounceable object. So the moose, and 2 of them. So it's actually extremely convenient, but it still is just not enough. It's such a big gap. So yeah, that's where the challenge stands. I'm just gonna play around a bit. Maybe I'll discover something. These walls aren't even climbable. That's so bad. What? This is so bad. This is just the worst sort of environment ever. The walls are not even climbable. The walls are not even climbable. That is just makes it that much worse. Would it be possible for me? Oh gosh, sorry. Oh god, sorry. Would it be possible for me to slide on that? No. And the thing is, if I slide, I need to use the same dive to open the cage. So for all of you watching, hey, if you could go and save this one, it's the last one. You can bring Moose into this cave, or whatever you need to bring, and then get us across this gap. That would save the last A-B press in those 6 bears. Until then, it is 6 bears and 7 A presses. Thank you all for watching. It's been a bit of my thinking, my thought process. We've done some cool things during this retrospective. Like, we discovered actual real-time strats that are probably going to be used one day by someone who does this by hand. Because we're obviously not doing those insane strats I mentioned. Talked about the history, development, found new strats. I even found an alternative here that also serves the same purpose as the B, which is also very hard and probably not humanly viable. Unless you are like locking it, because it is possible. I've made this thing 3 times. And then you have to get this, which is not that hard to get. Someone might do it one day, but we'll see. So yeah, that's sort of the AB challenge in the ice in Snow Valley. Thank you all for watching. I'm going to be uploading a good video, like a edited video, an interesting one, talking about a discovery I made way back a year ago. I just have not gotten around to making the video. It's not the AB challenge, not the A button challenge or the B button challenge. It's the joystick challenge, where all you can do is use the A and B buttons. You can imagine how fun that is. But it is the joystick button challenge, and it's one of the biggest discoveries ever found in, I wouldn't say one of the biggest, but one of the craziest, most unlikely discoveries ever found in all handicap challenges, all the button challenges, because it is sand. You know, sand in the desert map in 0 joystick presses. Yes, that's the sand that has the boss fight. Yes, that's the sand that's in the back of that chasm. In that room with lava all around it. Yes, that's the sand that has the pyramid maze. Yes, that's the sand that you have to get all the way to the pyramid from the middle of the desert, with its entrance guarded by bees and enemies. Yes, that's that sand. It's possible to do it in 0 joystick presses. Back in version 11.1.3. Not in this version because the glitch that we used has been patched. I am sad to say, or at least we think it has been patched. No one's ever pulled it off in version 12 plus, but it is possible in version 11.1.3, which is when I discovered it. So that is what the next video will be on. It's going to be a big scale video, not this one, not like this, because like this has no editing in it. This is completely unedited. I did use the pause button on my recorder, but that's it. That's all the editing I did. Thumbnail is awful. So this is technically a low effort video. But my next video will be sand, and hopefully I'll be uploading some more soon, doing some more research on Super Bear Adventure. So thank you all for watching this retrospective. I hope to do more in the future. Bye.